didn't erase her. I'm just learning to live beside her shadow.
Do not scroll. The best part is still ahead. Subscribe, hit like, and drop a comment. Lovina stood on the threshold of Atli's house, gripping a woven basket. 3 weeks had passed since the funeral. 3 weeks since she had seen his face. The door opened. Lovina. Atli's voice was hoarse. He had aged in those weeks. A gray streak had broken through at his temple, and deep lines had gathered at the corners of his eyes. I brought pies. For the children. Come in. She stepped across the threshold. The house smelled of stale air and unwashed dishes. On the bench by the stove lay Saloma's white bonnet neatly folded, as if she had just taken it off. Where are the children? Upstairs. Verna has not come out of her room for 2 days. Sylvan cries at night. Rosanna has stopped eating. Lovina set the basket on the table. Her heart hammered so loudly she was afraid he would hear it. Atli, Delmar came by yesterday, he cut in. He said the community is worried, that we have to make the right choice. What choice? He walked to the window, his back to her. He says the children need a mother, and I cannot do this anymore. I cannot watch them wither. Lovina felt something tighten in her throat. She knew what she had to say. She had known for a week since she unsealed that letter. I have something for you. She pulled an envelope from her pocket. The paper was creased, marked with traces of tears. Saloma wrote to me, 2 days before the end. I could not open it. I was afraid. Atli turned. What is in it? Read it yourself. He took the letter but did not unfold it. Lovina, if this is what I think it is. Read. Atli's fingers trembled as he opened the paper. Lovina watched his eyes move along the lines, watched the set of his jaw harden. She wants you too. She asks me to be a mother to her children. Yes, and she asks you to let new life into this house. Silence fell between them, heavy and sharp. The community will not understand, Atli said at last. Too soon. Will the children understand? I do not know. Atli, look at me. He lifted his gaze. There was so much pain in his eyes that Lovina almost looked away. I am not asking you to love me. I know your heart is buried with her. But I can give the children what they need. I can be what Saloma was for them. No one can be Saloma. I know. I will not try. I will be myself. He set the letter on the table. I need to think. How much time do you have? A week? 2? Delmar will not wait. He is already whispering to the community that the children should be split up. Verna sent to her aunt. Sylvan to the brothers in Lancaster. He would not dare. He would, and he will do it in a way that makes everyone think it is a blessing. Atli clenched his fists. Then we will do this quickly, by the end of the month. Are you sure? No, but I have no choice. Lovina picked the letter up from the table, folded it, and slipped it back into her pocket, right over her heart. Then I will come tomorrow. I will help with the children. He nodded without looking at her. As she left, she glanced back. Atli stood by the window, arms wrapped around himself, his shoulders shaking. But he cried without a sound the way men cry when they have long forgotten how to allow themselves grief. The wedding took place on Thursday morning. No guests, no singing, no pie. Only Bishop Alig, Delmar as witness, and the children, sitting on the front bench with stone faces. Verna, 14, stared through Lovina as though she did not exist. Sylvan, 9, held little Rosanna and rocked her when she whimpered. Atli Miller, do you take Lovina Yoder as your wife before God and the community? Atli swallowed. I do. Lovina Yoder, do you take Atli Miller as your husband, promising to submit to him in all that does not contradict the Lord? Lovina felt the room spin. I do. Then before God you are declared husband and wife. No one applauded. Delmar coughed and left first. The bishop set a hand on Atli's shoulder. May the Lord grant you wisdom, son. Marriage is not only duty, It is also grace. Atli nodded, but Lovina could see he did not believe those words. That evening the children went to bed early. Lovina tidied the kitchen, washed the dishes, and hung the towels to dry. Atli sat at the table, staring at a single spot. "Are you going to bed?" she asked at last. "Soon." "Atli, where am I to sleep?" He flinched as if she had struck him. "We have a guest room. Downstairs. It is clean." "A guest room?" "Yes." Lovina set her hand on the table, close to his fingers, but not touching. "We are married. People will ask questions." "Let them ask." "Atli, I cannot, Lovina. I cannot lie in that bed with anyone else." "Then let us change the furniture. We will buy a new bed." "That will not help." She stood. "Then I will sleep in the guest room. But know this, sooner or later the children will notice, and then it will be harder on them than on us." He did not answer. Lovina went up to the guest room. The room was small and cold, with a narrow bed and bare walls. She undressed, put on her nightgown, slipped under the thin quilt, and wept quietly, carefully, so no one would hear. Downstairs, Atli sat at the table until morning. Lovina woke from the cold. The room was dark, but she sensed someone standing in the doorway. "Atli, Rosanna is crying. She will not let me soothe her. She says she wants Mama." Lovina got up, threw a shawl around her shoulders, and followed him upstairs. In the children's room, Rosanna sat on the bed with her knees hugged to her chest, sniffling. "Hey, little one," Lovina whispered, sitting beside her. "What is wrong?" "I dreamed of Mama. She said she forgot to come get me." "Oh, sweetheart." Rosanna clutched at Lovina's nightgown. "You are not Mama. Why are you here?" "Because your mother asked me to be. She wanted someone to look after you." "You are lying." Lovina drew the letter from her pocket. "Do you want me to read to you what she wrote?" Rosanna went still. Atli stood by the door, watching. Lovina unfolded the paper and began to read aloud. "Lovina, if you are reading this, it means the Lord has called me earlier than I expected. Do not let the children become orphans in a house full of bread. Take them under your voice. They will know your kindness. And tell Atli that he has the right to live on." Rosanna stared at her, eyes wide. "Mama wrote that to you?" "Yes." Then she wanted you to be here." "Yes, child." Rosanna slowly reached out and wrapped her arms around Lovina. Her small body trembled. "Do not go," she whispered. "I will not go." Lovina rocked her until the girl fell asleep. When she gently laid her down and pulled up the quilt, Atli was still standing in the doorway. "Thank you," he said. "There is no need to thank me. It is my duty now." "It is more than duty." She walked past him, but he stopped her with a touch to her wrist. "Lovina, why did you agree? Truly, not because of the letter. What was the real reason?" She froze. His fingers were warm on her skin. "Do you want the truth?" "Yes. Because I loved you for 5 years, even before you married Saloma." He snatched his hand away as if burned. "What?" "You asked for the truth. I love you, Atli. I always have. But Saloma was my sister. I had no right, so I kept silent. And now she herself has given me that right, and I hate myself for feeling relief." "Lovina, do not say anything. I know you cannot answer. I am not asking you to. Just know this. I am here not only for the children." She went to the guest room, leaving him in the hallway with his mouth open and his hands empty. That morning Atli could not sleep. Sunday, worship at the meeting house. Lovina sat among the married women, feeling their eyes on her. The whispering started softly, but she heard every word. 3 weeks after the funeral. 3. I always said Lovina walked in Saloma's shadow. And what if Saloma never wrote any letter? Delmer says the community must intervene. After the service, Melinda, the eldest of the women, approached Lovina. "Child, how are the children?" "It is hard on them, but we are managing." And how are you? Lovina looked at her, and something in Melinda's gaze made her lower her guard. I do not know what I am doing, Melinda. I wake every morning and wonder, is this right? Am I betraying Saloma? Melinda took her hand. Saloma gave you her blessing. The community did not. Those are different things. Be ready to fight. I do not want to fight. Then you should not have married a widower 3 weeks after a funeral. The words were sharp, but her voice held compassion. That same evening, Delmer came by with his wife, Myrna. They brought a pie and practiced smiles. Atlee, we need to talk. About the children. Atlee set coffee on the table. About what exactly? The community is worried. Verna is completely shut down. Sylvan is telling folks at school he hears voices at night. Rosanna has stopped eating. That is not true, Lovina broke in. Rosanna, I am not speaking to you, Delmer snapped. Atlee stood. My wife has the right to speak in my house. Wife, Delmer smirked. Atlee, the whole community knows you sleep in separate rooms. Is this a marriage or a caretaking arrangement? Get out. I will, but know this, the brothers have a proposal. For the time being, while you sort yourselves out, Verna can go to my sister in Lancaster, Sylvan to his grandfather. Rosanna stays here. That will make it easier for everyone. You want to split up my children? I want to help them. Get out of my house. Delmer rose, taking the pie back. You will regret this choice, Atlee. The community does not forgive hasty decisions. When they left, Atlee sat at the table and covered his face with his hands. He is right. We are not managing. We are, Lovina said firmly. It is simply hard, but the children will stay together. I will not allow them to be separated. Why do you fight for them so fiercely? Because they are mine now, and because I promised Saloma. Atlee looked at her for the first time, truly looked. You are stronger than I thought. Not stronger, just more in love. He turned away, but she saw the muscle jump in his jaw. A week passed. Every night Lovina slept in the guest room and Atlee upstairs. But that night something changed. At midnight, Lovina heard footsteps on the stairs. The door opened. Atlee. He stood in the doorway in his nightshirt, barefoot, hair tousled. I cannot sleep. What happened? I was thinking about what you said, that you have loved me for 5 years. Lovina sat up, clutching the quilt to her chest. Atlee, go to bed. Why did you never say anything when I married Saloma? Because that would have been selfish. But you suffered. Yes. He took a step into the room. I did not know. I saw only Saloma's sister when I looked at you. The younger one, the quiet one. I know. I was always invisible to you. No, not invisible. I did not allow myself to look. Lovina went still. What do you mean? He came closer. In the darkness, she could barely see his face, but she could feel the strain in the air. I mean, you were forbidden, my wife's younger sister, but sometimes when you visited, I caught myself looking at you too long, and I hated myself for it. Lovina's heart pounded until her ribs hurt. Atlee, do not do this. Do what? Do not tell me things that will make me hope. He sat on the edge of the bed. There were about 5 inches of space between them, but Lovina felt the warmth of his body. What if I want you to hope? Then you are cruel, because I already hope. Every day, every night, I hope you will come to me, touch me, tell me I am not just a substitute. You are not a substitute. Then who am I? He set his hand on the quilt close to her knee. I do not know yet, but you are not Saloma, and I no longer want you to be her. Lovina felt tears run down her cheeks. Atlee, if you get into this bed now, it will be only because you are lonely, not because of me. How do you know that? Because you are not looking at me. You are looking through me, at her. He snapped his eyes up. You are wrong. Then prove it. He leaned in. His breath was warm on her face. Lovina went still, not daring even to blink. I cannot prove it. Not tonight. Because you are right, I do not know what I feel. But I know one thing. It is cold in that bedroom, and I do not want to be there alone. What are you proposing? Let me sleep here. Just sleep. Beside you. Nothing more. Lovina swallowed. Or move upstairs. To your bedroom. To our bedroom. The word our sounded like both a vow and a curse. Atlee. I will not touch you. I promise. I want to know someone is breathing beside me, that I am not alone. Lovina shifted over, making space. Then lie down. He lay carefully on the edge of the bed, gathering his half of the quilt around him. There were about 2 feet of space between them, but Lovina felt every breath he took. Thank you, he whispered. Do not thank me. I do not want to be alone either. They lay in the dark, not touching, but feeling each other's warmth. Toward morning, Atlee drifted off, and his hand reached unconsciously across the distance and touched Lovina's palm. She did not pull away. In the morning, Verna found them together. Atlee was already awake and coming down the stairs when his daughter stepped out of her room. You were in her room? Atlee stopped. Verna, did you sleep with her? Mama has been in the ground for 3 months, and you are already sleeping with her sister. It is not what you think. How then? Explain to me, Dad, how that is not a sin. Lovina stepped out of the room, pulling her shawl tight. Verna, your father did not do anything. Be quiet, the girl cried. You have no right to speak in this house. You came here to take her place. You waited for her to die. Verna, Atlee thundered. But the girl was already running upstairs, slamming her door. Atlee turned to Lovina. She does not really think that. It is hard for her. She is right. I took Saloma's place. No, you took your own place. Atlee, your daughter hates me. She does not hate you. She is afraid of forgetting her mother. Lovina took his hand. Then let us help her remember. Together. That day, they went to Verna's room. The girl sat on the floor, knees tucked to her chest, crying. Verna, Lovina said, kneeling, I did not come to replace your mother. I came to help you keep her memory. You are lying. No, and I will prove it. Tell me about her. What did she love? What did she sing to you at bedtime? Verna looked at her through tears. Why does that matter to you? Because she was my sister, and I loved her too. I am grieving as well. Something gave way in Verna's face. She sang, There Will Be Light, every night. Then we will sing it together, you, me, and your father, every night, so she will know we remember. Verna nodded slowly. But I cannot call you Mom. Do not. Call me Lovina. That is enough. The girl wiped her tears. All right, but do not try to become her. Promise. I promise. Delmer did not let up. After 2 more weeks, he called a brothers, meeting an official gathering of the community to discuss the Miller family's affairs. Long benches, the smell of coffee and fresh bread. Men on one side, women on the other. Bishop League at the head of the table. We are gathered to discuss the marriage of Atlee and Lovina. There are concerns about the speed and the motives. Delmer stood. Bishop, I saw Lovina bringing Atlee's laundry even before Saloma's funeral. I saw the way she looked at him in church. Who is to say that letter of Saloma's was not written after she died? A murmur went through the hall. Faces turned toward Lovina. She stood, trembling, but steady. I will bring the letter now. You can check the handwriting. You can ask the doctor who was with Saloma in her last days. He saw her write it. Letters are easy to forge, Delmer said. Souls are not, Lovina answered. I loved Atlee, that is true, but Saloma was my sister. I would never have betrayed her in life. I am here now because she herself asked it of me. Not for me, for the children. Melinda rose. I have spoken with Lovina. I have seen her with the children. She is not using them. She loves them. But the marriage took place after 3 weeks, Delmer insisted. That insults Saloma's memory. Atlee shot to his feet. Enough. Everyone stilled. I kept quiet. I allowed the gossip. I allowed you to judge us. No more. Yes, I married quickly. Yes, I was afraid to name what I feel, because I thought I was betraying Saloma's memory. But you know what? Saloma would not have wanted me to rot in loneliness. She wanted the children to have a home, and Lovina gave them that. She did not come to take. She came to give. He pulled the letter from his pocket. Here is Saloma's letter, written in her hand 2 days before she died. Dr. Miller will attest. Do you want to examine it? Examine it. But after that, leave us in peace. Delmer sat, his jaw clenched. Bishop Alig took the letter, read it, and passed it to the other elders. The letter is genuine. Saloma's hand. I have seen enough of her writing to know. Delmer, you spoke from anger, not wisdom. Delmer paled. Bishop, I only meant. You meant to sow doubt. The community's decision is this. The children remain with their father and Lovina. The marriage is recognized as lawful before God. But, he looked at Atlee and Lovina, you must live as a true husband and wife, not as neighbors under one roof. Otherwise, the gossip will not cease. Atlee nodded. Understood. On the way home, Lovina walked beside Atlee in silence. The children ran ahead. He is right, Atlee said at last. We cannot live as strangers. What are you proposing? Move into the bedroom tonight. For good. Atlee. I know you are afraid. I am afraid too. But we cannot wait any longer. She stopped. I do not want you to do this out of duty. Then out of what? Desire. He looked at her, truly looked, for the first time. I am afraid to desire, because if I let myself desire you, I will not be able to stop. After supper, Lovina carried her things. The children were already asleep. Atlee stood by the bedroom window, staring into the dark. I will change the linens, she said. Do not. Atlee, these are her sheets. I know, but if we change everything, then I will lose her completely. Lovina stepped closer. You will not lose her. She is forever in your heart, but I cannot lie in her bed. He turned. All right, we will change them. Together they remade the bed. Lovina brought fresh sheets scented with lavender. Atlee helped tuck the corners. Their hands brushed, and each time Lovina felt a warmth rise to her cheeks. Done, she said. They stood on opposite sides of the bed, looking at each other. I do not know how to do this, Atlee whispered. Do what? Be with someone else. I was married 18 years. I do not remember what a first time feels like. Lovina came around the bed and stopped in front of him. Then let me help you. She lifted her hand slowly and touched his cheek. He went still but did not pull away. You are trembling, she whispered. Because I am afraid. Of what? Of betraying her memory, of feeling something for you, of what I already feel. Lovina rose on her toes and kissed him gently, as if touching flame. His lips were warm but still. She drew back. Forgive me. I should not have. He caught her at the waist and pulled her back. This time the kiss was different, desperate, hungry, the kind they had both been holding back. When they finally broke apart, both were breathing hard. Lord, Atlee whispered, what are you doing to me? The same thing you are doing to me. He kissed her again, his hands moving over her back, slipping the pins from her hair. Lovina's long hair fell over her shoulders, and Atlee tangled his fingers in it. Lovina, his voice was rough. If we start, I will not be able to stop. Then do not stop. He lifted her in his arms and laid her on the bed. The lamp burned softly, casting shadows on the walls. Atlee leaned over her, his eyes dark and filled with something Lovina had never seen before. I am afraid of hurting you, he whispered. You will not. I do not know how to be gentle. I forgot. Then we will learn together. He kissed her throat, her shoulders, her collarbones. His hands trembled as he unfastened her dress. Lovina helped him, shedding the fabric until she wore only a thin shift. "You are beautiful," he whispered. "You have not said that before." Because I was afraid. Afraid that if I said it, I could never take the words back. She reached for his shirt and undid the buttons, revealing broad shoulders, a chest marked with the scars of labor. Her fingers slid over his skin, and he shuddered at her touch. "Lovina, I have not touched a woman for nearly a year." "I know. I will be clumsy. I do not care." "Atli," she breathed, "I am here. I have waited so long." "So have I. I just did not know it." Later they lay entwined, breathing heavily. Atli stroked her hair, and Lovina felt his tears fall onto her shoulder. "Atli, I am crying. I do not know why." She turned and held him. Because it was real. For the first time in a long time. "Yes," he whispered, "and I do not feel guilty. I thought I would, but I do not." "Is that good or bad?" "I do not know, but I feel alive, and that frightens me." She kissed his forehead. They fell asleep in each other's arms. For the first time since the funeral, Atli slept without nightmares. In the morning, Verna heard laughter in the kitchen. She came downstairs and saw her father holding Lovina around the waist while she cooked breakfast. They did not notice her. "Atli, let go," Lovina laughed. "The children will wake up." "Let them." He kissed her neck, and Lovina laughed again. Verna froze on the stairs. Something clenched in her chest. She had not seen her father like this since her mother died. He was happy, and she hated herself for how much it hurt. She slipped back upstairs and shut herself in her mother's room. She opened the old wooden box where Saloma kept her things: letters, photographs, ribbons. Verna took out the first photo of her parents young, smiling, in love. She looked at her mother's face and tried to recall her voice, but the memory was fading. "No," she whispered, "I cannot forget you." She began tearing the photo, piece by piece. The door opened. "Verna." Lovina stood in the doorway, pale. "What are you doing?" "I hate you," Verna shouted. "You stole him from Mama." "Verna, I did not." "You did. I heard you last night. I heard him say your name. He will never say her name again, because you erased her." Lovina knelt, gathering the torn pieces. "I did not erase her. She lives in each of you." "Lies. She is dead, and you are alive, and he chose you." "He was not choosing between us. Your mother left, not by choice, but she left, and he could not go with her. Because you are here. Sylvan is here. Rosanna is here." Verna curled on the floor, arms around her knees. "I am afraid I will forget her voice. Afraid I will wake up and not remember how she smelled, how she laughed." Lovina sat beside her. "Then tell me, how did she laugh?" Quietly, with her hand over her mouth, as if she were shy. "And how did she smell?" "Like lavender and bread, always bread." "Then we will bake bread together, every Saturday, and you will remember her. I promise." Verna looked at her through tears. "Why are you so kind? Why are you not yelling at me?" "Because I lost a sister too, and I am afraid of forgetting as well." Something gave way in Verna. She collapsed against Lovina's shoulder and sobbed for the first real time since the funeral. "I do not want her to be dead. I want her to come back." "So do I, child. So do I." Atli stood outside the door and listened. He slipped away quietly so they would not see his tears. That day he made a wooden sign with his own hands. On it were the words, "Saloma's box open for memories." That evening he set it in the common room on the table by the window. The box stood open, and anyone could place a memory inside or take something to remember. "She is not a shrine," Atli told the children. "She is alive, because memory has to breathe alongside the present." Verna stepped up and gently laid the reassembled photo in the box. "Will Lovina help me glue it?" Lovina nodded, trusting her voice to hold. "Sunday." the meeting house. After the service, Melinda came to Lovina and quietly laid a white ribbon in her lap. For your bonnet, not a reward, a sign that we see your struggle. Lovina closed her hand around the ribbon. Thank you. You will get through this. You are stronger than you think. That evening, the whole family gathered at the table. Lovina set down a loaf of fresh bread and Saloma's letter now without the wax seal. I want to say something, she began, looking at Atlee. We had to go a hard way. We ground our hearts into flour, and what came of it was bread, not dust. Atlee reached across the table and took her hand. Lovina, I was afraid to love a second time. I thought I would betray Saloma, but it turns out I was betraying the living. I was betraying you, betraying the children, betraying myself. He stood and came to her. I love you, not in spite of Saloma, not instead of her. I love you for who you are, for staying when everyone expected you to run, for loving me for 5 years in silence. Lovina began to cry. I love you too. I have always loved you. Verna stood and came to them. May I hug you? Atlee opened his arms, and Verna fell into them. Sylvan came next, then little Rosanna. They stood together, a broken family that had learned how to glue its pieces back together. Mom, Verna said softly, looking at Lovina. Lovina went still. You do not have to answer, but may I call you that? Not instead, alongside. Yes, child, you may. That evening, after the children were asleep, Atlee and Lovina sat on the porch, looking at the stars. We did it, she whispered. There is still much struggle ahead. I know, but we are together. He kissed her long, deep, with a promise. Together forever. A lamp burned in the house. On the table lay Saloma's letter, and beside it Lovina's white bonnet. 2 women, 2 lives, 1 home, and a love that did not thunder but kept its warmth. Subscribe to our channel so you do not miss out, because this is nothing compared to what is coming next. If you are under 18, do not even think about pressing next.